to Dakshinamurti first, and then we will start the class. Om Gajananam Bhutganadisevitam Kapithasam Jambhuphalasara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shokavinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Panchakam. Om Sumukhaya Namaha. Om Ekadantaya Namaha. Om Kapilaya Namaha. Om Gajakarnakaya Namaha. Om Lambodaraya Namaha. Om Vikataya Namaha. Om Vignarajaya Namaha. Om Vinayakaya Namaha. Om Dhumaketave Namaha. Om Ganadhakshaya Namaha. Om Phalachandraya Namaha. Om Gajananaya Namaha. Om Vaktratundaya Namaha. Om Shurpakarnaya Namaha. Om Herambhaya Namaha. Om Skandapurvajaya Namaha. Om Shri Siddhivinayaka Swamine Namaha. Om Spatika Rajatavarnam Mauktakim Akshamalam Amrita Kalashavityam Jnanamudram Karagre Dadata Muraga Kaksham Chandrachudam Trinetram Vidrita Vivida Bhusham Dakshinamurtamide. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Shriyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurte Mahyam Shriyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Om Namo Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Shriyam Medham Pragyam Prayachya Swaha. Om Omkara Simha Sarvendraya Namaha. Om Omkarodhyana Kokilaya Namaha. Om Omkara Nirashukaraje Namaha. Om Omkararanya Kunjaraya Namaha. Om Nagaraja Sutajanaye Namaha. Om Nagaraja Nijalayaya Namaha. Om Navamanikya Maladhyaya Namaha. Om Navachandra Shikhamanaye Namaha. Om Nandita Shesha Maunindraya Namaha. Om Nandishadimadeshikaya Namaha. Om Moha Nalasudhasaraya Namaha. Om Mohambuja Sudhakaraya Namaha. Om Mohandakarataranaye Namaha. Om Mohotpalanabhomanaye Namaha. Om Bhaktagyanabdhi Shitanshave Namaha. Om Bhaktagyanatrinalaya Namaha. Om Bhaktamboj Sahasranshave Namaha. Om Bhaktakeki Ghana Ghanaya Namaha. Om Bhaktakairavarакendave Namaha. Om Bhaktakoka Divakaraya Namaha. Om Gajananadi Sampujyaya Namaha. Om Gajacharmo Jwalakritaye Namaha. Om Ganga Dhavala Divyangaya Namaha. Om Ganga Pankila Sajjaraya Namaha. Om Gaganambara Samvitaya Namaha. Om Gaganamukta Murthajaya Namaha. Om Vadanabdajitapcha Shriye Namaha. Om Vadanenduspuritashaya Namaha. Om Varadanaika Nipunaya Namaha. Om Vanaviro Jwalatkaraya Namaha. Om Vanavasa Samullasaya Namaha. Om Vanaviraika Lulupaya Namaha. Om Teja Bhunjaganakaraya Namaha. Om Tejasamapi Bhasakaya Namaha. Om Vineyanam Teja Pradaya Namaha. Om Tejomaya Nijashramaya Namaha. Om Damitananga Sangramaya Namaha. Om Darhasa Jitanganaya Namaha. Om Dayarasa Sudha Sindhave Namaha. Om Daritradhana Shevadaye Namaha. Om Kshirendu Spatikākārāya Namaha. Om Shirendu Mukutojvalāya Namaha. Om Shiropahara Rasikāya Namaha. Om Shipraishwarya Phalapradaya Namaha. Om Nana Bharana Mugdhangaya Namaha. Om Nari Sammohana Kritaye Namaha. Om Naga Brahmarasa Swadine Namaha. Om Naga Bhushina Bhushitaya Namaha. Om Murti Nindita Kandarpaya Namaha. Om Murta Murta Jagat Vapushe Namaha. Om Mula Jnanatamo Bhanave Namaha. Om Murti Matkalpa Padapaya Namaha. Om Tarunaditya Sankashaya Namaha. Om Tantri Vadana Tatparaya Namaha. Om Tarumulaika Nilayaya Namaha. Om Tapta Jambu Nadha Prabhaya Namaha. Om Tattvapustola Satparnaye Namaha. Om Tapunodupalochanaya Namaha. Om Yamasamyuta Satkirtaye Namaha. Om Yamasamyudaya Namaha. Om Yatirupadharaya Maunine Namaha. Om Yatindropasa Vigrahaya Namaha. Om Mandarahara Ruchiraya Namaha. Om Madanayuta Sandaraya Namaha. Om Mandasmita Satvaktraya Namaha. Om Madhuradhar Pallavaya Namaha. Om Manjir Manjupadabjaya Namaha. Om Manipattola Satkataye Namaha. Om Hastankurita Chinmudraya Namaha. Om Hathayoga Parottamaya Namaha. Om Hamsajapyakshamala Namaha. Om Hamsedvaradhya Padukaya Namaha. Om Meru Shingatatolasaya Namaha. Om Meghashama Manoharaya Namaha. Om Medhankuralavala Griyaya Namaha. Om Medha Pakva Phaladrumaya Namaha. Om Dharmika Antarguhavasaya Namaha. Om Dharma Marga Pravartakaya Namaha. Om Dhamatraya Nijaramaya Namaha. Om Dharmottama Manorathaya Namaha. Om Prabodhodgara Deepashriye Namaha. Om Prakashita Jagatriyaya Namaha. Om Pragya Chandrashila Chandraya Namaha. Om Pragyamani Varakaraya Namaha. Om Jnanantarabhasatmane Namaha. Om Jnatragyadi Viduragaya Namaha. Om Jnana Jnadvaita Divyangaya Namaha. Om Jnatragyadi Kulagataya Namaha. Om Prapanna Parijatagryaya Namaha. Om Pranatarthapti Vadavaya Namaha. Om Bhutanam Pramana Bhutaya Namaha. Om Prapanchahitakarikaya Namaha. Om Yat Tattvamasi Samvedyaya Namaha. Om Yakshageyatma Vaibhavaya Namaha. Om Yajnadi Devata Murtaye Namaha. Om Yajamana Vapurdharaya Namaha. Om Chatradi Pati Vishveshaya Namaha. Om Chatra Samara Sevitaya Namaha. Om Chandasastradi Nipunaya Namaha. Om Chalajatyadi Durigaya Namaha. Om Swabhavika Sukhaikatmane Namaha. Om Swanubhuti Rasodadaye Namaha. Om Swarajya Sampadadhyakshaya Namaha. Om Swatma Rama Mahamataye Namaha. Om Hartakabhajata Jutaya Namaha. Om Hasodastari Mandalaya Namaha. Om Hala Halojjwalagalaya Namaha. Om Hardagranthi Vimochakaya Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshina Murti Swamine Namaha. Om Shri Dayananda Satgurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Maheshananda Satgurubhyo Namaha. Okay, let me put these things away. Turn the audio on and then we'll get started. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukarastvandhakaro Vai Rukarastvanivartakaha Andhakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavat Varyama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamritaat sambabhuva Samendro medhaya aspranotu Amritasya devadharano bhuyasam Shariram me vicharshanam Jihva me madhumattama Karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam Brahmanav koshosi medhaya pihitaha Shrutam me gopaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Aham Vrikshasya Reriva Kirtif Prishtam Gireriva Urdhupavitro Vajiniva Srumitamasmi Dravinagum Savarchasam Sumedha Amritokshitaha Itirtishankor Vedanuvachanam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yaschandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamritaat sambabhuva Samendro medhaya aspranotu Amritasya devadharano bhuyasam Shariram me vicharshanam Jihva me madhumattama Karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam Brahmanav koshosi medhaya pihitaha Shrutam me gopaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vang me manasi pratisthita Mano me vachi pratishthitam Avir ma edhi Vedasya maani isthaha Shrutam me ma prahasihi Anenadhitena Ahoratran sandadhami Ritam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmamavatu tadvaktaram avatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bhadram no apivata yamanaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bhadram karnebhih shrunuyama devaha. Bhadram pashyema akshabhiryajatraha. Sthirairangayyastushtyuvagum sastanubhihi. Vyashema devahitan yadayuhu. Swasti na indro vriddhashravaha. Swasti nah pusha vishvavedaha. Swasti nastarkshyo arishtanemihi. Swasti no brihaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam. Yo vai vedamscha prahinoti tasmai. Tam hadevam atma buddhi prakasham. Mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's begin on the Karika, the Alata Shanti Prakaranam, the last one. So, as we were discussing in the last couple of classes, the importance of discovering our true reality, who we really are, based on lingam. In other words, it is the question is, why is it that I don't know myself? This is a very strange thing, that you're spending life after life after life, and you're not able to really see yourself. And it should be seen like this, I think. We've had the analogy of the dream as a lingam, which is the main topic that we are going to continue to study. But I think another way to look at it, if this technology was there at the time of when these Upanishads were so much in vogue, because all the yugas are different now, we are in a Kali Yuga and so on. So the truth remains the same, but the application of it and the way it is practiced and so on and so forth are different. So what I'm saying is that if the movie industry was prevalent at that time, I think the following example would be very appropriate, which is the following. Really life is a movie that we are watching and we are participating in. It's kind of like a play within a play. But anyway, leaving aside that part, is that it is a movie. So now when you're watching a movie, it is not the absolute reality. It is a copy of the reality. So you have some ideas based on your life and so on. And this is exactly what happened. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. But the fiction mimics the truth and comes up with some kind of a plot and makes a movie out of it. So this is really what it is. We're watching a movie. Okay, so fine, you're watching a movie. And you're watching several movies. You're watching the dream movie, and several dream movies. Then you're watching the waking movie. Now, when the movie is over, what happens to us is we immediately start another movie. No gap in between. If there is a gap, then we may be resting, just closing our eyes for a while. But the fact of the matter is that in between movies, we do not have an opportunity to lead a life other than the movie. That has to be seen. So, for example, if you are not an avid movie goer, sometimes you find these movie, what is it called? The festivals, movie festivals, where there are lots of different movies around the world. In Cannes, in southern France, this is very famous, and other people also have it. And so there is a movie festival. So it is something like that, You see a movie, and then since you have paid the money to be there, you now want to start another movie right away. So you may just go out to the bathroom to relieve yourself, or perhaps get something to eat very quickly, and then the next movie starts. So in between the movies, you don't have a opportunity to sort of see yourself as a moviegoer unaffected by the movie. Like for example, supposing you have a job and you are watching two separate movies, one after the other. And so in between them, you now check on you take your laptop out, you figure out what needs to be done, have that person. So that's the life outside of the movie. Now, we have a special issue in our life, which is we don't know who we are outside of the movie. Now we have a special problem. At least if you have a job in between two movies, you can resort to that job and kind of regain your identity. If the movie was very tragic, for example, and there's lots of problems going on, it's very tragic and so on, and the movie is over, if you are crying, you just wipe your eyes, and then you go back and say, let's see what's happening back at Facebook or wherever you are working, and say, okay, these people. Then you go back to your own life for a while, you even eat some things and so on, and then you go back to a movie. But if you don't know who you are outside of the movie, and the only thing that you are used to doing is movie watching, life after life after life, this is exactly what your situation is. Really. We are watching one movie after another without a pause because we don't know what the pause means. If you had a life outside the movie, at least you would try it. But you can't. You don't know. Because of total ignorance of the self. This is what our life is all about. We are just, I don't know how many movies. If one is a huge movie, the whole life is a single movie. And then in addition to that, we have lots of small movies, and I don't know how many we can. You can calculate, say, I don't know, I'm just making it up. Let's say you see 10 movies during the night and you have 365 nights, so that's 3650. And then you have another life of 70 years. You can do that. This is how many movies we are watching. This is the situation. So here, this is the lingam. The lingam is that how are we going to know that we have a life outside of the movie? The only way we will know is that you begin to watch the dream movie, and then you apply the dream movie's the lessons from the dream movie, and see whether your waking movie is similar to that or not. This is what we have to do. This is what the Mandukya Karika is really asking us to do. So here, one important thing to see. We have to... So the whole question of lingam is an important one, because as we saw in that example, that the police officer knows exactly how to look for something which has been stolen or lost. Because he knows the methodology. Now, if a person doesn't know the methodology, you are lost. You don't know how to look for it, and you throw up your hands and say, I have no idea. Then you start just feeling sorry for yourself. My cow has been stolen and whatever it is. Whereas in fact there is a solution, and if you know how to find the solution, you'll find it. So similarly here also, an important thing to see is the lingam that you are following based on scientific principles or not? Scientific principle means that principles of truth, not the modern science, which is also not truth, which is a few steps into the truth, because they have to see methodology of testing and so on and so forth. But it is still anatma. It is within the realm of anatma alone. So to find out the truth of the atma, which is the truth, which is satyam, you have to find the right lingam. Right lingam means the one which is based on scientific principles, not just make-believe. And here, one example which has been my favorite for a long time, really, some of you may have heard me say that, should be thought about here. Okay? And so the example is that of two kinds of jewelries that you may encounter. Both of them are false, and one of them is obviously false, the other one is not obviously false. False in the sense, supposing you're looking for a golden bangle. Let's say golden ring. Ring is better. Golden ring. Okay? The golden ring means you want a ring made out of gold. The basic substance of the ring should be gold. This is what you're looking for. But what you can find is a golden ring which is badly made, which even you can figure out that this is not real gold. So for example, gold has a certain weight to it, has a heaviness to it. So if you put on a ring which is made out of plastic, and it has some gold-plated surface to it, the first thing you can tell, even the surface is not very clean and not very uniform, not clean but not uniform, you can tell this is not real gold. And in fact, as you are buying it, the cost of it, how you find it and so on, it's all false. Secondly, the weight is so light that you can now confirm that this is not real gold. It just feels light, so this cannot be gold. Okay. Then you walk into some stores that specialize in fine fake jewelry. And the first way, the ring that you got from some shop was like 50 cents. Now you go to this shop that sells you fine fake gold, and this time the ring is $50, not 50 cents. And furthermore, it looks really like real gold because the gold plating is done very well. And the weight of the ring might be the same as a gold ring. Okay? So these are the two examples. One is a badly fake ring and the other one is well-made fake ring. Now, are you going to be fooled by the fact that one of them is obviously false and the other one is not obviously false? You may be. You may be. You may have women that go around wearing well-made fake jewelry and nobody knows the difference. And it really brings a lot of satisfaction to the minds of the women who wear these gold rings and so on, that my goodness, nobody seems to notice it. This goes for it and I haven't paid very much money for it. You feel good about it. But anyway, if you want to really look at whether the ring is real or not, this is the point I'm making. This is the scientific lingam. Does it make sense for you to see how good it looks? No, that's not scientific. Then what you would have to do is to see if you scratch the surface whether it is gold inside or not. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it is really gold. This is the example. So this is an important example, and I think we could carry that theme, the theme of the example in trying to compare the lingam, because the lingam here means how to find if the ring is real gold or not. This is the lingam, isn't it? The lingam is not whether it looks good or not, but to find out the scientific basis on which you can tell that both of them are false. That has a very quick link. And if you go to a jeweler, he'll just take a look at it and says, false. Anything else? About this one. False. Anything else? Just about this one. Yeah, I think this looks like it's gold. You can tell. And then you're going to ask him, how did you find out? He says, well, I know, but here, all you have to do is to scratch it. And you find that some copper comes out. That means it's not, even though the weight might be the same. He says, my first lingam is the weight. If the weight is the same, then I have some suspicion because the luster is different and so on. This is kind of an artificial luster. Whatever. You have to find the right lingam. And just by saying that, so here's the situation, just to summarize this. We think that the dream is a badly made reality. It's obviously false. It's obviously false. Why is it obviously false? Because you have now, it's just like a movie which is now over. If the movie is over, then you know your identity. I have an identity outside of the movie. So therefore it must have been a movie. This is much you can tell. You wake up in the morning and you say, oh, that was an interesting dream. But it's over. So it's not very real. Because I'm still here, the movie is gone, dream is gone. So you know which one is mithya, which one is satyam. That one you can tell. But we don't proceed anymore. We don't see, and this is the real lingam of the Shastra, particularly in Mandukya Upanishad one of the most important Upanishads, because it is such a distillation of the truth. And then the Karika on top of that, which says, yep, this is not. And so what the Karika says is, listen, first of all, study the qualities of the dream, which is what we are doing. Study the qualities of the dream. Study the qualities of the waking, and to see if they are similar or not. Where are similar, what is not. If they are intrinsically similar, then both of them are false. If they are intrinsically different, then you can make a case, no, one is false, the other one is real. This is what we have to do. This is the real lingam. This is where a jeweler has to figure out whether it's a real gold or not. Anyway, so this is what is going on essentially. So here, what Mandukya says, that just like a jeweler has to rely on his science of figuring out whether the jewelry is real or not based on certain known principles, that any metal that does not have the same qualities as a gold is not gold. It's a fake gold. It's a fake copper with some plated gold on top of it. That's not what we want. We want a real gold. So similarly, what are those? So the Mandukya says, listen, let me suggest something to you. Because we cannot, we are so much involved in the movie making, and we don't, in the movie watching rather, that we don't have the understanding of my identity outside of the movie. We don't have that. So the Shastra says, okay, we know that. Because you took birth, therefore you are watching a movie, very busy. You're busy, the whole life is nothing but one long movie. Really, it's like a serial. Like a serial. One serial finishes, the next one starts. Every day is a new serial. And so the Shastra knows it. So the Shastra says, okay, here let me tell you on what principles you should examine all the movies. The principle is this. Anything that you experience is mithya. This is the principle. This is the filter which the jeweler has to use. It's like a mental filter. This is his principle, that if it is not gold inside, I don't want gold plated. The customer also doesn't want gold plated. So if your daughter is getting married and you want to give her some gifts of a golden jewelry, then you cannot give her fake jewelry. That's not kosher. And so you're looking for real jewelry, and so you rely on the jeweler. The jeweler also knows, yes, this is the real one. That reality in Mandukya is saying is, please, this is the filter. Filter is anything which is experienced is false. It comes and goes, is changing all the time. This is not Satyam. You're looking for an identity outside the movie. This is what we have to do. We have to think about, really, when this movie is over, who will I be? What I will be? Will be a new one, or I'm the same one? It's like saying, when you start watching the movie, you are somebody. At the end of the movie, you are somebody completely different. That doesn't make any sense. The movie can maybe change some of your moods and so on, but it cannot change your basic identity. So we have to figure out, when this movie is over, who am I? And not only when the movie is over, even while it is going on, who am I? This is the real Jivan Mukti. This is the Jivan Mukti. And so what I have to figure out is, what are the principles based on which I can say this is a movie? So here Mandukya says, whatever is experienced is false. So here one of the points brought up is, what about God, Ishvara? So Mandukya says, in fact not only Mandukya, the entire Shastra says that if it is your view that it is different from you, you're just a human being sitting here, and now you visualize Ishvara, which is a possible experience, then that also is mithya. In fact, in the Kena Upanishad, there are, from the 4th verse onwards, this point is brought up. If you, those of you that have studied Kena Upanishad, so for example, the 4th word says, Yad vacha anubhyuditam yena vak abhyudyate tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedham yaditam upasate. He says that alone you should see as Brahman. Na idam. Idam means, in our experiences, yad idam upasate. Means that the upasana that you're doing to the Ishvara as being separate from you, that also is part of mithya. But fortunately, that Ishvara in reality is nothing but you. So if you look at it as the very basics of who I am, this is what we have to see, the Satyam, then it is not an upasana, it is jnanam. But if you look upon it as different from you, then it is really just upasana, and do it if you want to. But it is really, it is not the truth. Okay, anyway. So now let's move ahead. As you know, I have not been doing it on a verse by verse basis, but nevertheless, I'll visit some references by specific verses as part of the concept that we are doing. So here in the verse number 38, I won't read it, I'm just giving you the summary of the concepts and so on. An objection is raised. So this is the lingam that the Karika is using. So an objection is raised. Objection means a doubt, not really an objection. So, as you know, that questions can be one of two types. One is an objection and the other one is a doubt. And the difference is that an objection is from someone who has already made up his mind. And that is different from the way you are saying things. So there is a vivada. This is what is called vivada. Vivada means an objection. That what you're saying doesn't make any sense. A doubt is someone who is not really objecting, but he still doesn't get it. So this is what is called samvada. Vivada is an objection and samvada is a doubt. And the doubt is that, for example, when you are studying something, It's not as though you don't say, this guy doesn't seem to make any sense. No. But you're saying, but I don't quite get it. How can I resolve this? So this doubt is raised. The doubt is, this is a very good doubt. The doubt is, listen, the dream is dependent on me. And so therefore it is false. Because the moment I decided to wake up, the whole dream disappeared. So it was all dependent on when I decided to wake up, or when I decided to go from one dream to the other, which by the way you have no control over, but anyway, let's keep it, you have some control. That can happen. Supposing you are dreaming or something, and suddenly you want to go to the bathroom. So your urge to go to the bathroom to relieve yourself is very strong. So it stops the dream. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, and you go back to bed, and now either a continuation or more likely a brand new dream starts. In any case, the dream is dependent on you. You can start it. For example, you say, today I am not going to sleep at all. I'm just going to have 7 cups of coffee and I am not going to sleep. So, absolutely not. I told you about my experience when I was in high school in Amritsar. And so the high school exam, usually they give you an extra day between the subjects. Chemistry is on one day, then mathematics is on the 3rd day, and so on. But in this case, it was next to each other. And so history was right next to it on the day of, I forget which the previous one was, but this was a history exam. So I didn't really get a chance to remember and so on at the last minute. So I came home, I was tired, and my grandmother was there. My mother used to be in Bihar, but I used to live with my grandma and granddad. And so she was very loving, and she says, okay, now please have your dinner. And I says, Nana, I have to study. She says, I know, but at least have your dinner, and then you can. It was very cold those days. It was like March or February, and it was very cold, and I still remember this. So I had my dinner and so on, and I told my grandmother, listen, I am going to be studying almost all night. I don't care, because I don't know what I'm studying. I haven't really reviewed it. I don't want to fail. So I'm not even going to sleep at all. She says, okay, fine, that's okay. That's whatever, but do get some sleep. I said, fine. She goes out of the room. Then she pops in around, 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and finds that my eyes are closed and my neck is slumped, and the light is still on, and the books are all open. So as a kind grandmother, you know what she does? She puts the quilt on me, closes the books that are lying on my chest, and shuts the light off. Here I was trying to not even go to sleep and have no dreams or anything. And she said, oh, poor guy, he really needs the rest. He's been studying so hard and so on. I wake up next morning thinking, okay, now I'll continue with my next. It is the morning time, 6:30, and I have to be there at 8 o'clock. I am in panic. Anyway, it was somehow I passed or whatever. So the doubt is, listen, the dream is dependent on you. The waking world is not dependent on you. You have it has nothing to do with you. It goes on. And so this disturbance about the Minneapolis killing and the coronavirus, it's outside of you. It has nothing to do with you. It goes on all by itself. So you cannot compare them. That's the doubt. It's not really an objection, but it says, I don't understand how I can compare them. Because one is dependent on you. You have an identity outside the dream. The other one you don't. This is the doubt. Gaudapada says, we have two answers for you. And so one answer was given earlier. Swami Paramarthananda reminded us how the structure of the answer is. Very interesting. So the first answer was that if you are in the dream, it looks like it does not depend on you. Right? When you were dreaming, you had not the feeling that this is going to end soon. No. In fact, please think about it. While you're in the dream, it looks as though it is going to go on. He had given this example before. I'm just repeating myself. And so there, for example, our feeling is that this world is going on outside of me. The same principle applies even in the dream. In the dream, you can also say, when I am gone, this whole scenery is going to, what will it look like? You can even talk to someone and say, well, I'm getting old, and have a good life. This is all in the dream. Have a good life after I'm gone. So what does it mean? It means there is continuity after I'm gone. And you're not pretending. You're not saying, I think even though I know my dream is going to end. No. This is exactly the way it is. So this is the answer number one. That while you are in the dream, you don't know that it is dependent on you. You think it is independent. This is answer number one. Now, in in verse number 38, he gives the second answer. Okay? And really, I'm beginning to understand the structure of this Alata Shanti, how this is done, how these things are. Gaudapada Acharya ji must thought about, okay, I think I'm going to present this first, and then, so the first thing that he had done, and this is part of the second answer, that's why I'm giving you a kind of a summary of this. The first thing that he had done in the first section, if you remember, is that the world has no beginning. It of course has no reality, but he went meticulously in explaining why something that has no reality never had a beginning. Within the context you can say it had a beginning. But really, if you look at the whole thing, it had no beginning. It just pops up suddenly, like in the case of the dream also. You cannot put a watch in it and say, okay, dream starts. Can't do that. It just pops all by itself. So this was meticulously done by Satkaryavada, Asatkaryavada. Satkaryavada was in the Sankhya and the yoga system and the Vaisheshika. We did all of that. Then the Buddhists and all of that, we did that. The end result was, this is just an appearance without a beginning. It just happens by itself. And so one corollary to this part is that isn't it possible that you are masquerading as something that you don't know. See, so this is an important thing to see, that we call Maya as anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya. Anirvachaniya means that it's very hard to say one way or the other definitively. This is what anirvachaniya means. You cannot be definitive about it. So an objection can be that, are you saying you just don't know how to do it? You give up, you throw up your hands and say, we don't know what's going on. No. It's just the opposite. We are saying definitely we know that you cannot know. This is the difference. And so, the dream, and so, another thing, let me complete that thought. Because if the objection that you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you are espousing as reality, that means you don't know how it will end. See, that's the implication. The implication is we are trying to find a solution to our life's problems. And if you say, I don't know how it all can happen, that means you don't know how it will go. This is the difference between saying we know definitely that we don't know how it happened versus we don't know how it happened. Why? It will go by itself. If you see the Satyam outside of that, you will see it disappears. The whole question will become useless. When you wake up from a dream, you don't worry about you. Even if you want to talk to you, nobody is there to talk about it. Supposing you tell your spouse, maybe when you were married, freshly married, and she and you are both, he or whatever, whoever your spouse is, they were somewhat polite, and you say, oh, I have to tell you what a dream I had. And he says, really? What kind of a dream did you have? So then they would listen. But as life goes on, they all get bored. Try giving your dream speech to your spouse now after being married for 1 year even. Forget about, certainly after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you will get a tongue lashing. He says, will you please stop wasting my time and your time? Let's get on with the real stuff. So nobody is interested in the dream. And so, similarly here also, that when we say anirvachaniyam, it's not as though we say that we don't know what it is. We are saying you don't need to know. Because it just happens and it'll go. It'd be better if you just look at the life after the dream, after the waking. This is what we have to see. So now, the second answer that Gaudapadacharya ji gives in the verse number 38 is this, that assuming, so remember the first answer is that you cannot answer the dependence versus independence question as long as you are in it, except if you were to analyze it. Now, this is the thing, this is an interesting thing to see. In the dream state, you cannot analyze that this is a dream. You cannot become Jivan Mukta in the dream. It's going to take its own time and frighten you or make you happy, falsely happy or whatever it is, doesn't matter. And then it'll end. But you cannot because there's no occasion. For Jivan Mukti, you need some repetition, you need some practice, you need to think about it. By that time, if it's over, then where's the chance to think about it? But the difference is that in the waking state, you can figure out that this is false while you're in it. This is the difference. And so anyway, so the answer number one, I'm just repeating myself, was that while you are in it, you cannot figure out that this is false, that it is going to happen and so on. In dream, you cannot. Only when you come out of it, you can figure out that this was. So this is answer number one, that this was false. Now here's the second answer. The second answer is that you saw our first section where we prove that there is no existence and no beginning at all. You cannot objectively say this is what it is. We already proved that. We proved it by looking at every possible option. Satkaryavada, Asatkaryavada, Buddhism, Jainism, anything you want to look at. You cannot prove it. Cannot prove it. If you cannot prove it, you cannot establish. In fact, please listen to me. I'm telling you, you don't need to prove it. No, we need to prove it. No, you don't. Why don't you do it? Because it's not necessary. Why bother about a dream? This is just like I'm repeating myself. Anyway, so now we have proven that anything which appears to be an experience is ultimately false. So now watch this argument by Gaudapada Acharya ji. He says, suppose you say that there is some existence of the world outside of me. It does not qualify because it is an appearance anyway. You see, so let me summarize both parts of the answer, because we have talked some detail about it. The answer number one is that if you were to discover your identity outside of the dream, then you will figure out that it is really dependent on you alone. The number two answer is that even if you were to say, no, I don't grasp that, because even as a Jivan Mukta, I find that I have discovered an identity within the dream, but there is some reality going on outside of that. Even that is not true, because we have already proven in section number one that there is no beginning and no reality to, there's no objectivity to anything which needs to be experienced by someone. So therefore, your doubt that the world will exist, you see, this is the thing, this is the important thing. I mean, these doubts are all our doubts. You're not saying, we are all wise people and you guys, I don't know why you're doubting. Hey, we are doubting this. And the dream is over, but this thing continues. And not only that, this coronavirus and all these other things are going to, even if I get attacked by it and I die tomorrow, there are other people that are going to be still there. So therefore, this is not a dream. And so Gaudapada Acharya ji says, no, it is just a variation of the dream. It is like a well-made false jewelry. See, that's the example we should always keep in mind. It is a well-made false jewelry. That is not the right lingam. Not the right lingam. The lingam is can anything that is experienced by you, means it is dependent on you, can it have an independent existence or not? And it cannot. That is the jeweler's lingam. That is the real gold. And it doesn't. Doesn't. And why not? We have given the couple of answers. Anyway, so that's how it proceeds. Then there is another set of, I think we may have done this, I'm not sure, but let me just quickly, I won't spend as much time on this one. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, so the next concept is that the dream experience is caused by my experiences in the waking state. So it is directly as a result of my experiences. And so that means that, so there is a cause and effect relationship, karana karya bhava. And the karana karya bhava, so why are we, this is a doubt and an objection, or an objection, either one. Why are we bringing this up? Because we know that karana is more real than the karya. The cause has a higher level of reality than the effect. The gold has a higher level of reality than the ornaments made out of it. Because even after the ornaments go, the gold is still there. So there is a karana bhava, a karana karya bhava. That being the case, the doubt says that the dream is a karya of the waking state. So they are different. See, that's the point, very good point. They are different because just like gold and its ornaments, the dream is an ornament and the waking is the gold, relatively speaking. And therefore they are different from each other. So which the answer is no. This is not really the case because, first of all, even if you were to assume that, suppose you assume that the karana karya bhava exists between the waking state and the dream state. Now we ask you, isn't it true that the qualities of the effect are the same as the quality of the cause? Yes. So, for example, the golden ornaments are all gold. So the goldness is common between them. So Vidya says, yes, okay, so what? What's the problem? Then we can say that we know what the qualities of the dream are. What are the qualities of the dream? That it kind of frightens you for a while or pleases you for a while, then it goes away. This is the quality. The same quality must also exist in the waking state. That it frightens you, it pleases you, then it goes away. So if you were to feel that this is karana karya bhava, And if I were to assume you are right, then also it doesn't make any sense. It is the same. That there's slight differences that may be there, but they are pretty much the same. This is number one. The second one is that the dream is really not the karya of a waking world. And this has lots of stuff in it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I'll give you some basic summary for this. So, this is how the details of the various parts are revealed in the commentaries. And so, for example, there is, you think that Mandukya is the truth, and then the Karika explains the details of Mandukya through the Karika. Then the Karika itself has to be explained, all these kinds of things about what are the similarities, what are the differences, are explored further. And so there's like a multi-level detail searching and exploration. So beautiful. The more you look at it, it's just incredible. So in Sureshwacharya's, so there is in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which is one of the really the greatest Upanishads, is so large and has so much material into it. The other Upanishads are very specific. They all have different meanings. Brihat and Chandogya have so many concepts within them. It's like a sea, has so much depth in it. So there, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad has Shankara's Bhashya, which is supposed to be his greatest Bhashya, as I mentioned in the Adi Shankara's Shishya's talk. And so they have, that Bhashya is supposed to be the best. And because it is so deep, then Sureshwaracharya wrote a Vartika on the Bhashya. Because the Bhashya also, just like the example we are taking here, also leaves a lot of detail out because you have to finish the text. So now Sureshwacharya writes a huge Vartika. And there is in fact a Sambandha Vartika where Shankara introduces the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad as a whole. And so there is a Vartika on top of that. Then there are commentaries on top of the Vartika itself. I got this book from Swami Maheshananji's. It's either 2 or 3 volumes. Each volume is about this thick, which is called Brihadaranyaka Vartika Sara. It is a summation of the Vartika. And I started reading this some time ago, like 3-4 years ago. And I didn't get much into it. It's just too detailed. I don't have the time. Anyway, all I'm saying is that these kinds of arguments are meticulously presented in complete detail. So here, going back to this, what we were studying, time is it? 9:12. Okay, I'll try to summarize it very quickly. So here, what was said was that, fine, if you look at it as a Karya Karana Bhava, then also it is, then you should accept that the Karya Bhava also exists in the Karana Bhava. So, but the fact of the matter is it is not Karana Karya. And there are a lot of arguments. That's where we started the example of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. That there are lots of reasons why it is not Karana Karya Bhava. I'll give you a couple of them. This goes into much more detail. One is that they are on the same level. This is a very important example. I remember when Swami Dayananji presented this a long time ago, this really appealed to me. And they're on the same level. You see, here's the thing. In the gold and golden ornaments, both exist together. When you see the ornament, you also see the gold. You see both of them. And so there you can say they are in the same state. One is the cause of the effect. That's not the case in the dream and the working state. Because the dream state eliminates the waking state. Completely eliminates it. This is our experience. That you may be you may have had a very sumptuous dinner with full of desserts and this, that, or the other, and in the dream you are hungry. You know, it's like I remember if you are fasting for some reason or the other, so the whole day you are craving for food. Oh my gosh, when are we going to have food? The whole day, this is very difficult, this or the other. You just have some glasses of water. And so you're craving, you are trying to think about food. And then you had the food, now you're happy. But the vasanas of the craving are still there in the dream. Anyway, the dream completely eliminates the waking. You know, Swami Maheshanji gives this example that you lent somebody $5,000 in dream, and you know who you lent it to. You lent it to a friend of yours who was really in need for it. This is the dream. Now you cannot get up in the morning and say, "Where are my $5,000?" Doesn't make any sense. So there is no cause and effect relationship of that kind. Yes, there are certain experiences in your mind that you stored as vasanas that do appear in different forms in the dream. We admit that. But it is very different from a cause-effect relationship. In fact, you know, one of the things which is said is, and I don't remember who, it was either Swami Dayananji or Swami Maheshanji, I can't remember. I think it was Swami Maheshanji that had told this in one of the books, that it is Shastra says that in the dream, you not only have vasanas from this life, but also previous lives. Very interesting. So your conscious thoughts, supposing you had a spouse in the previous, which is very likely, unless you are not married. Most people get married, and so it's very possible that you had a family in the previous life. And that family is still going on. They've got their own future, something is going on there, and so on and so forth. Now you've started a new life, new movie. And now, however, in the main movie, which is the waking state, you cannot remember who you were married to in the previous life. Not the remember of the marriage, but some vague recollection of the person. But in the dream, it's possible that the vasanas have some residue from the previous life. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because it is not, even if there are some remnants of cause and effect relationship, it is not a cause and effect relationship of this life only. It is a much more complex, God knows what you do in your dream. You have strange kind of experiences and so on. So, you know, there's I think Swami Naranji had given this example. He said, you know, you have never seen horns on the head of human beings. But in dreams you may see it. And I remember I think that was the case when somewhere when we were studying, this Star Wars came out with this Chewbacca and all these strange forms and so on. That's an imagination of someone. And these days also you have all these people that have eyes over here and all kinds of strange things. So similarly in a dream you can come up with some kind of an imagination of what it looks like. People can have some horns on them and so on. But it is not really an effect of anything specific in this. It's just an imagination of the mind. So anyway, the conclusion is your objection is not valid, that the dream is different from waking. See, this is the whole thing. It is if it is different, it is not, it eliminates. There are two separate movies going on and they don't have any relationship with each other. This is what we have to really think about. I remember when Swami Dayanand Ji had pointed this out, it was really had a great effect on me. That my gosh, it is like seeing multiple movies. You go to one and the other one disappears. You go to this one and the second one disappears. So this is the arguments given by Gaudapada Acharya Ji. So in verse number 40, so I'll wrap it up also. In verse number 40, Gaudapada is starting to summarize the second section. So in the second section, so remember the first section was to prove that there is no beginning or reality to things that you experience. And the second section applies this truth in going back to the comparison between the waking state and the dream state as it is pointed out in the Mandukya Karika. Okay? And so then the third section will start, which is Alata Shanti Prakaranam, which is the main name given to this Prakaranam. But now the section 2 is being summarized, and the summary is that let me see how I can say this. I think that we will probably do this in more detail next time, but let me just say it. The summary is that in our waking state, my relationships with people, my experiences, my conclusions will have to be completely redone on the basis of this truth. Everything would have to change. If you were to have a real progress towards an identity outside of the dream, if you were to do that, isn't it obvious that we have to re-look at everything that I am involved in my life with respect to the people, situations, and so on. And that is what should be done, what will happen, And that is really the summary of the section 2. So we will, I'm just looking at it. Just to give you an idea, the second section is over with verse number either 45 or 46. I forget which one. So we have a few more verses. Probably it might take a full class to get to that point. Perhaps not, even less than that. Then we will start the Alata Shanti example, and we'll go with that for a while. Then the entire teaching is summarized in the very end of this chapter. So we will do that. And then we will go back to revising the key parts of the Mandukya itself. There are some important things to see there in the revision. So we will do that. So that's how it progresses. My sense is it will take about at least 7 to 8 classes for this to happen, perhaps even more, before this whole is wrapped up. So with that, I'll end the class today. We'll say a prayer and then see if you have any questions. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Shukino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Right. Towards an identity out. Good. My namaste to all of you. Krishna Ryan, Sudha, Surendra, Shrida, Chandradulam, Vikram, Sadagopan, Lichi, Zarina, Chawla, Hila, Larry Lopez, Gajananam, Rani Goyal, Akshay, Tanuja Singh, Arvind Taylor, Virendra Singh, Meera, Shanti Kumar, Kalpana, Subhash Jain, Varun Vij, Satish Chalota, and the Banjaras. So there is a question here. The The above question is from me, Shanti Kumar, but I don't see the question itself. I've looked at, maybe this is a problem that I think somebody has pointed out before, that what you look at and what I look at are different. So somehow I don't, so if you can repeat that one more time, Shanti Kumar ji, it'll be good. I'll wait for a few minutes and see what question you had, but I don't see any questions from you. Arvind Taylor's question is, can dream also be of the past life experience? So in a way, yes. That's what we were talking about, but not in a major way. Because I think Ishvara's creation is very sensible in that sense, that really the previous life's movie is over. And there might be some leftover things, but it'll be very difficult. We have a hard time coping up with this life's issues. If we have to now start remembering about, I wonder what my spouse is doing from my previous life, then even though this has happened to people where they have some memories of the previous life, but that is really more of an exception to the rule. It's a kink in the whole thing. It's not supposed to be. Oh yeah, now I see a question. Yeah, I had a dream and I got up suddenly and I found answers to my research work. Is it some way cause and effect? I would imagine yes. So very possible that there was some relationship between them. So we are not saying that there is no relationship whatsoever, but primarily it doesn't exist to be. If it is something like an experience that you had, then it would be an exception rather than anything very normal. Tanuja, if the movie script of the dreams is from vasanas from this life and previous lives, then how do we reduce those residues from this life and the previous life? So no, I think that the answer to that question, which is much more important for, you wouldn't worry about previous life and so on. Whatever the residues are from the previous life is what you are experiencing in this life. You see, the Ishvara has already taken care of that. So this life is really, this is what is called Prarabdha Karma. Prarabdha Karma means that there are certain some tendencies that you had which prompted the specific life this time, and you're living it now. Whether you are born in an educated family, non-educated family, all those kinds of things are already taken care of. So now I think what you need to do, as we will be discussing it, is to see that do not be under the influence of past actions. In fact, make new actions where the vasanas are given much less importance. And so don't make unnecessary plans that are useless to you. If you are interested in getting out of this whole mess, then make your life based on your resolutions, your sankalpa. And so this is what's called vairagya, which we discussed in the in the end of the happiness class, that there are two things that you have to do. You have to do vairagya, because something which is not very useful, very real, then you should just give up. And simultaneously you have to do abhyasa of your reality outside of this life. So both of these, this is the viveka and vairagya that one has to do throughout the life. And the more you do that, you find that the vasanas of wherever they came from, previous life or this life, do not have the same kind of hold on you that they currently do. Chris Narayan, is the answer for the research on vaccine? What does that question mean? I don't follow. Anyway, I'm not quite sure I follow, Narayan, your question. It's about satellite image processing for feature identification and measurement. Yeah, so that's very possible. Shanti Kumarji, it's very possible that some insight that came from suddenly waking up from a dream. Yeah, that's very possible. All right, with that, I will take your leave, and we will see you next week. Okay, oh, namaste. Stay well.